Alexis Padilla. We're about to get a briefing here shortly, and we're going to actually take that right here, just an update on last night's tornadoes. We wait to get an official update. I'll just give you guys some more background information. Evergy is continuing to restore power and work on that progress. I'll silence right now. You guys listen in.
Good morning, everyone. Almost good afternoon. My name is Mike Roosevelt. I'm the Deputy Fire Chief and the Incident Commander for this operational period of our tornado recovery and response incident. I'd like to thank you all for being very patient with us and helping us get the right messages out to our public and the listening folks around so that we can continue to do the best job for this community that we can. As I said, we are now in our second operational period. Responders continue to conduct search and rescue operations throughout both the city of Andover and the affected areas in Bruno Township, the Fire District 1 portion that Chief Russell spoke about earlier today. To that end, we consider ourselves to be about at the 70% level of having gone through every location twice, so a primary and a secondary search of all those areas. Our crews are working diligently to get to every area twice, and some of them a third time if necessary, in order to ensure that our public is getting the best care that they possibly can. Our casualties remain at a count of 4, which for a tornado, any tornado, that is an amazing feat, and especially one that traversed about 6 miles through the populated area. So we had 4 casualties that we've already advised you of. We have not had any additional casualties, and I'm told that our hospital locally has not had any walk-in casualties directly attributed to the tornado incident. They've had their normal walk-in influx of folks. With regard to our utilities, Evergy was not able to be here with us at noon. However, they estimated they had 15,000 customers without power at the onset of the incident. They now, as of 10 a.m., were down to only 1,200 individuals without power in their power grid. The Butler Rural Electric power grid saw similar amounts of damage, just in a smaller zone, and there I don't have an account of how many customers are without with the Rural Electric Cooperative, but rest assured that all the electrical folks are doing everything they can to ensure safe operating areas for our responders and to get power back onto those folks who can have power returned to them safely. Our gas and water departments have been through the area with their monitoring devices and equipment, and there are no active gas or water leaks at this time. You will still see their presence doing spot checks and re-engaging customers wherever possible that were shut down in a zone type approach earlier in the incident. Our damage path. Now that we've had daylight does a lot for us, and now that we've had daylight and had our crews able to be up and had our aerial operations with the Kansas Highway Patrol, our Andover Police Department drone folks, and the Civil Air Patrol and Evergy fly the area, we now know that our damage path extended approximately 4 miles, 3.5 to 4 miles to the north of where we believed it to have ended last night. To that end, we now believe we had approximately 1,000 structures that were affected in some way by this storm. That number probably will continue to rise as the day goes on. We do have a no-fly zone established by the FAA that still continues for the general area of the city of Andover and points to the north and slightly to the east. The Augusta Municipal Airport is not affected by that, but certainly we'd ask that those folks don't fly this area either, because we still have drone and response flights occurring in our area. If you are a private drone owner, please do not fly your drone right now. We'll give a statement later when that goes back to normal operations, but the no-fly zone does apply to the private drone operators. The last thing that you want to have happen is your drone get outside of its control zone and then come down and land on a responder's head or something. We can't have that. As far as our victims, our area that anybody that needs shelter, our shelter-in-place zone is at the St. Vincent de Paul Church, 123 North Andover Road. Very prominent facility, and we have staff there to manage the needs. It is also the reunification center. I'm sorry, I do not have a phone number at this time, but our PIO will probably be able to generate one for you and get it to you in your media outlets shortly. If anyone has donations and really feels compelled that they really must provide donations, we are not openly asking for anything in specifics at this time. You can contact 211 and work your desires through the United Way. A little later today, we'll probably begin having some social media and web outlets through our City of Andover social media positions to advise folks of the types of things that could be useful. And once you get engaged in that 211 and the United Way component, those folks will be advised of how to get those products to the folks that are in need in the most efficient way. We currently have about 200 responders continuing to actively work through the area of Andover and Bruno Township from over 30 agencies, and it has been almost seamless, which is quite a deal. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Ben Graber, Captain with the Andover Police Department.
Thank you. Again, my name is Ben Graber. I'm Captain with the Andover Police Department. A couple things I wanted to address. We are right now not allowing volunteers into the city. The Reflection Lakes, which is right south of here, if you can show proof of ID, we're allowing you to go in. At this time, we're not letting volunteers in until we get the secondary searches done. So this neighborhood is closed down. 54 highway has been closed in both directions from Andover Road to Santa Fe Lake. Evergy is working on getting the eastbound lanes open. Once they do, eastbound will be allowed to open. Westbound is still going to remain closed. The detour for that is at Santa Fe Lake. We're going to have KDOT with a flagman that's going to direct people north. They can either go to 21st Street or to 254 to get into Wichita. All other major roads in Andover are open. Harry is open now. It's just the neighborhoods that we're keeping an eye on. We've got security there. I'm just asking that people stay away from Andover for now. We're not at a point where we can use volunteers. We need to get our secondary searches done. We need to make sure the buildings are secure, so they need to stay away from the buildings, YMCA, the schools, and Central Park. And once we get to a point where we can allow that, we will get that out and let volunteers come in. So at this time, who wants to go next?
Any other staff have any significant comments? Okay, we'll open up for a few questions. I know everybody has things on their need to know list and want to know. Crunch times to do things. So a couple of questions.
So when you were saying casualties, you just meant like it was the four minor injuries that were from this morning, correct?
Correct. Casualty is just a general word for me.
Do you know about the time frame of how long 54 is going to be closed for?
We anticipate by 1 o'clock that we'll be able to have our eastbound traffic moving forward.
As far as westbound, they're saying it may be a day or two. So we're not 100% sure on that one yet.
Any other questions, folks?
Is there going to be another briefing?
Yes, ma'am, there absolutely will be, and that will be at 4:30 in the same location. If for some reason that has to change due to wind or whatever, we may try and find a better windbreak for us. If not, thank you all very much.